See, some of you have finished, so while the others are writing, Sandy, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about the sensations that you experienced.
Well, it just felt generally calmer, a sense of peacefulness, and I felt that the chirping of the birds was very soothing. I like that. Basically, that was what I was feeling during it. It was just I guess maybe I know the vision was of the Buddha, but with the chirping and the sounds of nature, you really felt like you were in nature. Like you could imagine the greenery and the grass and the trees and you could just kind of imagine the setting, even though you didn't actually see it. That was nice.
Good. How about you, Shay? How was your experience?
The birds are very strong for me. They are all the time anyway. But I felt a lot like Sandy, very peaceful. It was more of darkness for me, but it was a peaceful, dark and quiet. I didn't see the Buddha after I stopped looking, after I closed my eyes. It just was in space, but I did feel the wind caress me from outside the door 3 times. And that was cool. That's
Good.
about it.
Good. And how about you, Sharon?
Yeah, when I first started out and I saw the Buddha and everything, and I do like that image, and I love the bird song. It was great, but I kind of had a fearful image for a minute or two, but that passed, and I was listening to the sounds of the birds, and at one point I thought I heard people talking.
Yeah.
In the bird sounds, I thought I heard a different sound, and then I listened longer, and I thought it was people talking in the background. And then I got very sleepy, and so I know I had some of this gamma thing going on because I had images, but then that was on, and I can't even tell you what they are. But I did feel restful, but actually sleepy, where I think I kind of did doze for a few times in there, and then woke back up. So, but I did feel, I definitely felt peaceful and calm. It was nice. Very longer than that, I probably would have taken a nap. But yeah, it was good.
Well, if I recall, you always had a tendency to start to doze off when that second round of fade away came through.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Yeah.
So make sure you write down that disturbing image that you experienced. Make sure you record that. And the same with you, with that darkness that you said, good.
Yeah, it was, okay.
We'll talk about that in one of our later classes. And Connie, were you able to meditate?
No, but I was listening very close, pretty, and I could hear the hum. It was in the background. It was almost like the Om, but constant. And I also heard the people talking, and I think I heard a baby at one point. Just different things I could hear in the background. I think my brain was creating more on what was going between the birds than anything else.
Okay, good. And how about you, Beth? How was your experience?
Alright, so I did some deep breathing, and then I saw a rainbow arc. It was like just 90 degrees. rising from the ground to the low branches of a large tree on top of what appeared to be a hill. And then I immediately went into intrusive thoughts. There's like focus, Beth, focus. I was not feeling any strong emotions, so I guess I was in a neutral phase. And once I started focusing again, I saw the rainbow into the tree again, and I heard interpret. So I almost immediately came up to interpretations. So the first interpretation I caught or heard or whatever was that, okay, the rainbow, that's, light, that's energy, I don't know what the various colors would be, but then all the colors, whatever the colors are supposed to be, rising as in the rungs of frequency, and the tree in this interpretation would be the tree of knowledge. And then immediately it's like, okay, you're 65, you're gray hair, your body's falling apart. Oh, it's the tree of life. At 65, I'm now in the lower branches of that tree. Honest to God, that is. So that I was feeling a little kind of excited and intrigued to see if those interpretations are anywhere close to what's going on. That's it. That's got to be enough.
Okay. Well, it's interesting that, did you hear people as well?
That's in the
Okay.
recording.
No, it's not.
The recording in yeah, because I've heard it before.
No, you haven't.
You've had another.
Yes, I did.
Oh, and that one had people talking.
Yes.
And kids giggling.
Maybe.
But this sounded like it had been recorded in a park. Because I heard traffic, cars going by, and the people talking.
Not this one.
You haven't did it.
No.
This one, the one
No,
you just played,
no,
I heard it.
This was your meditation.
Okay.
I screened it before I made the video. There's no people.
It sounded like it was a different language as well.
Did anybody else hear traffic?
I didn't hear any traffic, but the
Okay.
traffic stuff was
The hum of tires when they go by?
There was
Yeah,
one
little
vehicle
swoosh.
that I heard.
Yeah, a vehicle went by
Here?
here.
Here, but not.
Now I have both doors open,
Oh, maybe that's what I heard.
so your voices could have been from outside the building. But I find it interesting that most of you heard voices.
Yeah. They were soft. That's why I thought it had been recorded in a park. With all the birds chirping.
Well, when I selected this soundtrack, I specifically went after tropical birds. A tropical rainforest, I think, or maybe a tropical lagoon. You specifically went looking for that, because I didn't want any disturbances, because I remember you and Sharon trying to identify birds the last time, trying to identify people in the background. So I made it a point not to have that in the recording.
You're so sneaky.
Yes, I am. So how do you feel compared to when we began?
I feel a little more energized than I did.
Okay.
Open and receptive.
Receptive. Sharon?
I feel a little more receptive as well.
Sandy?
Yeah, that's the optimal word. That's definitely, I feel that. Yeah.
Connie?
Yeah, I would say more relaxed, more open. The hum that's in the background is what did it for me.
And it should. And we'll talk about that, like I said, in a later class. This is an introductory class. So I wanted you to start getting into the habit to writing down what you experience, because it's going to be important later on. And So any questions? So, what is spirituality? Because that's what we're here about. And looking at your reading material isn't really going to help you much.
Okay.
But you have it for later. So the question is, what is spirituality to you? And Shay's already got her page ready, so I'll start with her.
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, that's a question. I ask questions, lots of questions. Just ask Beth. Lots of questions. That's why she likes these classes.
I think it's my connection, direct connection to Source
Okay,
for me.
that's all we're asking for you. And Connie, since you're up there, what does spirituality mean for you?
I think it's the finding my place among the universe, I think, where I belong and what belongs with me and how it all fits together.
Good, good. How about you, Beth?
What does spirituality mean to me? Well, of course, both of what you said before, but for me, it's also learning about what's unknown. The arcane, I guess you could say. And that's what else was in your head? There's two clauses to that sentence, but I lost number two. Yeah, and just becoming closer to God, source, higher power, infinite intelligence, the all-seeing eye, whatever anybody wants to call it.
Okay. How about you, Sharon? What does spirituality mean to you?
Well, I wrote down just first would to be that my connection to my inner self, and all of those other things, source, infinite intelligence, that by connecting to my inner self is going to connect me also to that, to those, and to learn how to be at peace with my inner self.
Okay. How about you, Sandy?
Well, I felt in tune with my higher power, but I also like what that said, because I haven't really thought about that, but it's really, it means everything, is that it's not to go to an end, it's to go to the beginning. And what I mean when I say that is that spirituality is a fluid concept. I don't like the word concept, but it's fluid. So you're always learning, always growing, always receiving, infinitely receiving. So that, which really takes it to a whole nother place, really.
And it should.
Well
Yeah.
said.
So, very good. All of you are right. Spirituality is a holistic approach to life. It's not just the inner reality or the intellect. It's the body, it's your emotions. Spirituality at its deepest level and its deepest connection to religion is to our emotions. We are emotional beings. Despite what people tell us, don't have negative thoughts, don't feel negative, don't be mad. We are emotional beings. And it's up to us to understand those emotions that we experience. Because each one has a tale. We should not try and separate ourselves from those emotions that we're uncomfortable with. Because when we separate ourselves from those uncomfortable emotions, we're building a wall. We're bricklayers. And you're building a wall and everything. And you get it all done, and you stand back, and you look at it, and you happen to glance down, and already the mortar is chipping away. And the reason why it's chipping away is because that emotion that you're trying to wall yourself up from, or wall up away from you, is part of you. And you will be lost until you're able to take it into you, gain understanding, gain the wisdom that comes with it, and make you whole. It's very important to your well-being, your emotions. They're there for a reason. So these are some questions that I'm sure all of you have asked. If you haven't asked them, then guess what? You will have some homework. What is my purpose? We've all asked that, right? Has everybody answered that question?
Well, depending on whatever stage.
All right.
Of
We're not
life
going to get into splitting hairs.
All right, I've had several. Like, right then, my purpose in life is blah. You know, right now, I would say my purpose in life is to be kind and to learn.
It's ever changing,
So,
which is good. That's a
knows
good
what happens.
approach. That's a good approach. My purpose in life is to help all of you and anybody else have a better experience of life. So here's another one. Where am I going? Has anybody asked that question of themselves?
Oh, heck yeah.
And where are you going, Sharon?
That's a good question. I don't know.
That's a good answer. You ever want to know where you're going? Look into the future.
Okay. Well, sure, and that's always changing too.
It's supposed to.
Yeah.
You want to know where you're going? Visualize yourself in the future. That's why you go for these interviews and they ask you this question. So, tell me, Beth, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Still retired and loving it.
And here's the biggie. Who am I? How many of you have discovered yourself? I don't see any hands but mine.
I'm discovering
There you go.
It's an ongoing
an
process.
active process.
But you have to find a point to begin with.
Oh, my point.
All right. So the answers we find when we endeavor to resolve these questions are remarkably diverse from one to another. Each of you gave a similar answer, but a different answer. That's what spirituality is about. It's diversity, but it's diversity on an inclusive level. And we have to be clear of that, given the way that society has moved, or the direction that society has moved. Diversity purpose of diversity is inclusivity. To include everybody. That used to be a goal in this country. Now it's not. Now they're taking great pains and steps to separate. So spirituality is even more valuable. It's becoming even more valuable. So here's something for all of you to think about. Why is spiritual exploration or spirituality so important to you? I'll give you a moment to think about that before I call on you.